Hey, everyone. This is 100 Days of Purpose, and I am Coach Linda. I am here to talk today about the topic that at hand, which is simply what is your shape? Now, a few years ago, Rick Warren came out, so it's not something specific to Linda. Rick Warren came out and he talked about shape. It was purpose driven life, right? And what I liked about that is that he was saying that we live to fulfill God's purposes in the earth. And if you are someone who kind of asks those questions, why am I here? Why am I on earth? Why am I existing? Why, is there something more to me than what I see on a daily basis? Can I accomplish some other things? One of the things that I love about purpose-driven life is that it calls you to ask the questions. Sorry, my phone thought I had turned it off. It made you ask those questions in a real way, where you would seek the answer, and that hopefully you would then make adjustments to allow that to develop in your life, and you would start to live this purpose-driven life, understanding that there were 5 things that you were supposed to do. Now, from a Christian standpoint, I really totally buy into that. I'm Miss Purpose, right? And so I totally buy into that. And I believe that we were created to spread the gospel. I believe that we were created to do some massive things in the spiritual realm of life. And that should bring glory to God. But I also believe, taking it a step further, I also believe that the way God created us, the way He designed us, is more specifically that whether you are a Christian or not, you're still bringing glory to His name. You're still bringing essence to this world because of who you are and who you were created to be. So going to that example of a plate, is the purpose of a plate is to be a plate, and I guess you could look up the definition. One day I'm going to look up the definition of what a plate is, and then I'm going to be able to say what the purpose is. But basically, on a basic level, we use a plate to eat our food off of, right? So we put the food on the plate, and then we use the utensils and everything. So the fork is made for a purpose. The spoon is made for a purpose. The knife is made for a purpose. Napkins are made for a purpose. Plates are made for a purpose. Then there are coffee mugs and glasses and wine glasses and all of these things. And if you use them for the way that they were created to be used, then you're using it correctly, and you get the better experience from it. But can you use a wine glass for, say, a cup of coffee? Absolutely. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. Could you use a coffee mug to eat cereal out of? Absolutely. There's no reason you couldn't do that. But what's best for it is to get a bowl, right? To get a bowl of cereal. Could I use my plate to put it as a cover over my pot because I don't have a cover for my pot and I need to steam my rice? Absolutely, right? But is that the best way to use it? And so therefore, many of us are operating and we're doing things that are okay. We're good at it. It makes us money. It brings us joy. It brings us peace. We go out into the world and we shine bright and we accomplish things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. However, is that your true shape? Is that your true purpose? So Rick Warren, when he did the acronym SHAPE, it was for spiritual gifts, heart, experiences, personality, And then let's see, the A. I'm missing the A. Let me. I believe the A was abilities or attitude. You guys, sorry. I said I was going to look it up because I was thinking about this all day. And so here you have your shape, SHAPE, right? SHAPE. Your spiritual gifts, your heart, your I believe it's your abilities, then you have your personality and your experiences. All of those make up who you are and what you can attribute to the world. And so here let's start with our spiritual gifts. And if you look, your homework today is there is a quiz that you can actually take to help you define your shape. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about archetypes. And again, not something I came up with, it's something that you can research. But what the reason why I'm talking about these two things as it pertains to purpose is because sometimes the more you know about yourself, the better you are able to locate and define and understand your purpose and understand if you are on the road that you're supposed to be on for purpose or if you need to make some adjustments. And I'm hoping that this 100 days of purpose will cause you to really think about what it is that you're giving into the world, because we just went through a pandemic and we're still sort of in this pandemic. Some people are talking about a third wave. Some people are talking about there's a decline in cases, and and we just don't know. Times are uncertain, but what shouldn't be uncertain in our lives are what we are here to do, why we still breathe, why we still exist, why there are people waiting for you to show up in the world, and why you are a unique gift to the world. There should be no uncertainty about that. And so if you are feeling like, I don't know what's coming up next, I don't know what to do next, I am hoping that this 100 days of purpose is coming in a time that you're going to be able to really embrace this. And I hope as an individual that needs you to show up and to shine, I hope that you take this serious and you look at your life and you make the adjustments that you need, or you get that confirmation that, look, I'm doing this thing, right? I'm on the road. It may be difficult, it may be hard, or maybe it's easy. I don't know. But I know that I'm doing the right thing right now, and I'm contributing the best that I can to this world, to the world that I'm called to the world that I encounter every day. Because every single day you encounter somebody, whether you know it or not, you encounter somebody that needs you. Sometimes they just need your smile. Sometimes they just need you to look them in the face and see them. Sometimes they just need you to hear. Sometimes they just need to know that somebody cares about them. And that somebody is you. There are people waiting for you to show up. And if you are on A Street and everyone that needs you is on B Street, let's get you on B Street, because you're trying to communicate with people, right, that don't want to hear what you have to say. You're trying to communicate with people that don't want what you're selling. Right? And you're trying to sell them on how great you are and sell them on what you can do for them. And they're like, we don't need that. We need water, and you're bringing orange slices. We need toast, and you're bringing steak. So let's get you on the path to serving the people that you're supposed to serve. Because at the end of the day, living a life of purpose is serving others and serving them well. It's understanding why you exist. It's knowing why you exist and doing that very thing, which is going to bring peace of mind to you, which is going to bring that relief at the end of the night, where when you lay your head down, you can say, man, I accomplished so much today. I helped this person. I helped that person. I was able to show up in this situation. I was able to contribute to that situation. I'm not a leech. I'm not someone who just takes, but I give more than I take. So let's talk about shape. There's a quiz. Again, your homework is do the quiz. If you're not familiar with shape, if you're not familiar with all of that, you can read it and research it and things of that nature. Again, it's not something that Linda came up with. It's out there. Rick Warren was the first one to bring this about. So I like to give credit to whom credit is due. But I do live by this because I believe that when you're on your discovery of purpose, you need to understand these things. So today we're talking about shape. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about archetypes. Again, it's not something I came up with. I was actually introduced to it recently, and it blew my mind because I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Now I got a whole nother avenue of purpose to talk about. Yeah, so yeah, Linda's excited. But anyway, shape, your spiritual gifts. As a pastor, as a minister of the gospel, as a mouthpiece for God, it is important that I understand what my spiritual gifts are. I understand the things that God has put on the inside of me, and they've been there from the conception of who I am. It's important that I do not allow people to tell me what my spiritual gifts are, but I allow God to manifest those things in my life and to develop those things in my life. And so it's important that you know your spiritual gifts. It's important to know if you are a prophet. It's important to know if you are a teacher. It's important to know if you are an encourager, if you're a giver. And so there's so many things. And if you want to know more about spiritual gifts, then I suggest that you either get in contact with me on, behind the scenes, and I can take you through and I can help you understand what your spiritual gifts are. There are a lot of quizzes out there, a lot of books out there. There's a whole library of stuff for you to go through to really understand that and truly define who you are spiritually. Then the spiritual gifts. Then there is the heart. Heart is your passion. It's what do you love to do? What comes natural to you without even thinking, right? What makes you smile from the inside out? Not that fake smile that you put on. I like to call it, not that beauty pageant smile. We all have what? We all have a beauty pageant smile, right? Not that one, but that one that lights you up from the inside. And so when you smile, it's in your eyes, it's in your face, it's in your body. Everything is smiling, right? What is that? Remember, passion is different from purpose, because we can be passionate about reading books. We can be passionate about fashion and makeup. We can be passionate about music, and we can be passionate about writing. We can be passionate about going to amusement parks, and there's all kinds of passions. But passions are like fuel, and they run out, and you got to replenish. And so knowing what your heart is, knowing what you like to do, that's your passion. And that's what's going to fuel you and get you to your purpose. It's going to help you keep going when the going gets rough. Help you keep going when you feel like throwing in the towel. That passion is going to kick in because it's something that you love to do. It's something that you're passionate about. It's something that your desire to make other things to accomplish things is going to kick in. And so you're not going to struggle with doing what you do, because I love it. I love talking passion. I love preaching the gospel. I love when someone comes into my office and I can counsel them, and I can use the wisdom of God that is on the inside of me to give them hope. That's Linda all day long. So it doesn't baffle me that I am a minister of the gospel. It doesn't baffle me that I'm an author. It doesn't baffle me that I'm a coach. It doesn't baffle me that I even do taxes, because I am here for the broken. I'm here to give solutions to issues and problems that my clients have. And I show them a more excellent way. Whether it be my financial coaching or my life coaching or, ministry, whatever it may be, everything that I do encompasses around why God placed me on earth, why I exist, and why I'm here. I would be doing this even if I was a white girl. I would be doing this if I was an Asian girl. I would be doing this if I was a Hispanic girl. I would be doing this if I was a man. Come on, somebody. Because it's who I am. It does not change because of my gender. It does not change because of my race. It does not change because of what I've been through. Because if I'm honest, what I've been through has helped define my purpose. It's helped solidify my purpose. And those things were necessary to help me become a better me. The good, the bad, the ugly. So what are you passionate about? What do you love? What's that that makes your heart go boom, 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 boom? As a matter of fact, what's that thing that makes your heart race? Boom, 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 boom. Because that's going to feed into your purpose. So we talked a little bit about spiritual gifts. We talked a little bit about the heart. So then your abilities, okay? Your skills and your talents. There's a story in the Bible that talks about a rich man or a master giving his servants talents. And most times when people go in and expound on these scriptures, they expound on it as it pertains to money. And when you read the scripture, it's kind of easy to deduce why they do that, because it says you should have put it in the bank, usury. And those are words that we use for finances. Let me offer something else up to you. What if talent has to do with purpose also? Because many of you are hiding abilities, you're hiding your skills, you're hiding the talents that you have. And some of you have just one talent, some of you have 2 or 3 talents, some of you may have 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 talents, right? And so you tend to want to, I don't know what it is about us humans, but some of us tend to step into the light and be like, here I am, whoa. And some of us be like, I'm gonna come into the light, but I'm not gonna give you all of me, right? Or the others, we just are too shy to do anything, so we just kind of, I can't do that, or we talk ourselves out of it. And so when I was reading this and I was looking at this, I was like, you know what if this has to do with the abilities, the God-given abilities that I have, that I do so effortlessly, and I choose to hide them because I'm afraid of what people will say. I'm afraid of how people will accept me. I'm afraid of so I hide them. And when it comes back to me giving a report and me giving an account for my life, I have nothing to show that I was here. I have nothing to show that I did anything worth anything, right? So I've been telling myself that I'm useless and worthless and I'm no good and I'm that and woo, 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 and boo, 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 all the lies we tell ourselves. And now I've lived a life that's worthless, useless. And every lie that I told myself, I've just made it real. And so I've wasted time. And instead of encouraging me and saying, oh, well, I understand, because people can be rough and the master says, you should have used what I gave you. You should have used what I gave you. You should have did what I put you on earth for. Then there is the one who took the talents. He was given 5 talents, and he took those talents and he doubled it, and now he has 10 talents. What does that mean? That means that if we take it away from the money, that means that he utilized his talents. And like I talk about, he got into the vehicle of purpose, and he explored those 4 tires. He had the resources, right? He started off with what he had, and that grew. So now he has more resources. Then he took his influence, his knowledge of how to invest that, how to utilize that, how to spread the knowledge of who he was and what he was trying to accomplish. He did that. He took what he had and he spread that knowledge, and now he has more influence and more knowledge. And now he's able to do more because he has more resources. He's able to influence more because he has more influence. He's able to get things from point A to point B quicker. Then there is his willingness to do it, because the first one that I talked about, he wasn't willing to do anything. And when you're not willing to do anything, you don't know the possibilities of what you're walking away from because you're not willing to do anything. So it doesn't matter what resources you have. It doesn't matter what influence you have. If you don't have the willingness to get out there and do something with that resource, with that influence, it doesn't matter. And so if you don't do those things, the opportunities will never avail themselves to you. But the one who had the 5 talents, he got more resources, he got more influence, he got more willingness, because guess what? When things are working, we're more willing to do things, right? So he got more willingness because he started off with the willingness that he had, and that turned into more opportunities. So when the master came and he had to give an account, he was able to give a good report, and he was like, oh, dude, you better go on and do that. I'm proud of you. Pat you on the back. Why? Because you did what you were supposed to do with what I gave you. I didn't give it to you to hide it. I didn't give it to you to put it under a bushel. I didn't give it to you to not say what it was or do something with it. I gave it to you because I expected you to go out there. And even if you go out there and you lost it, at least you did something. At least you did something. Then there was the one that had the 2 talents, and he did the same thing. He went out and he multiplied it. So he took those 2 talents and it became 4 talents. But the one who was given 1 talent, again, given something to use, but he did not use. And so the story goes that he takes from the 1 talent guy, because he's like, he didn't do anything. And he took it from him, and he gave it to the one with 10 talents. So what that tells us is that if we don't utilize what God has given us, if we don't utilize what we naturally have been born into, if we don't take the time to really know that we're living a life of purpose and really doing what we are doing, someone will say, well, I work for Amazon, I work for Intel, I work for Walmart, I work for McDonald's, I have my own business, blah, 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 blah. But are you doing what you were supposed to do? Because if you're experiencing burnout does not equate passion or purpose, I should say. It doesn't, because purpose doesn't burn out. If you're feeling frustrated, no, there's situations that'll happen, and those situations can frustrate you. But you're not frustrated by what it is you're called to do. You're not frustrated by your purpose. You're not frustrated by who you are. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? When you journal, what are you talking about? When you allow yourself to dream and to hope and to aspire? Is it the life that you're living right now? Or is it some other type of life? And then my question to you is, why aren't you living that way? Because when we talk about the shape of us, only you can fit that shape. Nobody else can. Only you can. So we talked about the spiritual gifts, we talked about the heart, we talked about the abilities. Now the personality. So your personality, the way that you are, truly are, the way you truly are, not this thing you become because of situations and circumstances and problems that have arisen in your life that have caused you to become hard and bitter and angry or confused, frustrated, overwhelmed. I'm not talking about that person, not that personality, because that was a learned behavior. I'm talking about when you step back and you just act. There's a personality that comes out. It's either caring and loving, it's joyful, it's pleasant, it's resilient. That. And one day, maybe on this 100 days, I'll talk about a little bit more about that, because when I was writing my book, there was a lot of thought about what God told me. And he said, I didn't create you that way. And that line from the master made me start to look at my life and say, okay, so if I wasn't created to be this Linda that I am, what Linda am I supposed to be? Because if the fighter Linda isn't who I truly am, then why am I giving that to the world? Because that's a put on. That's fake. I want to be real. I'm always talking about I'm 100, I'm real. So if I'm 100 and I'm real, then who am I for real? For real, for real. Who am I? Who did God create me to be? And then I realized that circumstances and situations in my life had caused me to pick up an attitude and a personality that had nothing to do with the original personality that I was born into. And so I had to get back to that person. I had to get back to who I truly am. So when you look at your personality, is it a front that you give to the world, or are you giving your true self, your true essence to the world? And how do you know that? You strip away the hurt, you strip away the rejection, you strip away all of that stuff that has caused you to believe that you had to be a certain kind of way. And some people will say, well, I went through hell and high water and I didn't change. I beg to differ. Do the work. Down like layers of onion. Just peel until you get to that center. And see if that center is the same that you give to the world. Because I would have to say 7 out of 10 times it's not. Then the last E, which is your experiences. We all experience, and some people look at this and they'll say, well, I've gone through a lot of bad things. And those bad things have made me think certain ways, or made me act in certain ways, or your experiences are your experiences. And even if, say, you were molested as a child, and I was molested as a child, even if we were molested in the same way, The way you experienced and the way I experienced it are going to be different. Say you were fired from your job and I was fired from my job. The way we experienced it is going to be different. The way we felt during it, the way our mind thought is going to be different. So even though I can say, well, I understand that you were molested and I can feel your pain, I really can't truly embrace all that is you because I didn't experience it the same way. So I can empathize with you and I can even sympathize with you, but I still cannot register the emotion that comes from your experiences because they were unique to you. The culture you grew up in, the things you were taught from past generations, the things that passed down through your DNA, the three things that are in your bloodline, all of that comes into culmination to make your experience. And the way you react or the way you take action to something is going to be different than the way I react or take action because we don't live the same lives. We're not cookie cutters. We're not all the same. So even though I may feel your pain and understand your pain to a certain degree, your experiences are unique to you. And those experiences help define and help shape your purpose. So let's look at it this way. Your experiences will define whether you're going to be a circle plate, a square plate, a rectangular plate. You understand what I'm saying? It's the shape of you. So what is your shape? So for homework, do the quiz. If you're not familiar with it, do some study on shape and let's really dive into this. Come back and comment below what you learned from today. I need y'all to talk back to me. I need to know that when you are watching this, that you are getting something out of it. Okay? Is that okay? Because I am putting my all into this. I'm giving you what I would give my clients that pay me. Right? Even though it's little snippets, I'm giving you that same energy. I'm not holding anything back. So please, if you're watching, don't hold anything back. Glean from the information being given to you. And if you need to reach out to me for coaching and for resources, go to destinedtobeyou.com. You can inbox me here on Facebook. You can hit me up in Twitter or Instagram, but I want to help. And I know that everyone that's watching these videos aren't my ideal client or my target client, but you all can glean something from it and it can help you and hopefully transform your life. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to bring healing and hope to the broken, to the hopeless. So I'm Coach Linda, doing what I do. Pastor Linda to some, author Linda to others. But I want you to have a blessed and a prosperous day. I want you to understand what it means to thrive and prosper, not to survive, but thrive. It's a huge difference. Huge difference. Stop living to survive. You weren't created to survive. You were created to have life and that more abundantly. You were created to thrive and to prosper and to be in good health. And that is my wish for you. That is why I do what I do. I'm Coach Linda and I'm out.